Just wanted to do a quick video on a little project I've been working on, which is this kind of like lowland grow terrarium. So I have a lot of highland grow spaces, which are my radiators and cooling setups and all that, but I don't really have a lowland tropical grow area. I mean, I do have a bunch of places where I grow my cacti and all that, but of course, that's not tropical. And in the winter, those get kind of cold anyways for their dormancy periods. So it's not really the same. I need a kind of like a warm and humid all year round kind of grow area. And it's mostly for ant plants and maybe a few choice lowland or Nepenthes like this. I have one in there right now. But most Nepenthes will probably outgrow this terrarium. So it's probably a bit too small for an actual lowland Nepenthe setup. But even ant plants will get pretty big. So, eventually I'm going to have to upgrade. But for now, what I was looking for was something that was cheap and sized correctly to maximize the space usage of this shelf. Um, and I didn't really want to go for one of those glass reptile kind of terrariums from like PetSmart or whatever because they were kind of like expensive. I wanted to go something inexpensive and easy to move and disassemble if I needed to. So I watched some videos online of people like building terrariums out of acrylic, and I thought, oh, maybe I could do that. But apparently, acrylic sheets are very, very expensive. So you want like a very large acrylic sheet. Uh, that's like 50 plus or $80 or something like that. So you might as well just get the glass terrarium at that point. So anyways, I went for this, I think this is polycarbonate or something like that. Some corrugated kind of, not really corrugated, but some sort of plastic poly something. It's called like chloroplast or chloro something. But yeah, I got that Home Depot. I think it's $10 for one very large sheet. So I needed three of those. And then just some random acrylic for the windows and a piece for the top here. And then I put a grow light and 3D printed some little brackets to have the grow light hang on these like wooden poles, just from Home Depot and all that. And yeah, everything seems to be doing okay. Still, some work needs to be done, and I need to find a way to like get the thing closed. Right now, I taped some magnets on here. It seems to be doing okay, and I do think that acrylic over time it will start to like warp. So I'm not sure how long these window things will last. I might have to replace this with some sort of like glass or something more less flexible. We'll see how that comes out in the future. And also, yeah, I need some more ventilation in here because it actually gets too humid. Right now it's 72 because I had it open for a bit, but it gets up like up to the 90s and stuff. So it's like I need some airflow and ventilation or something. So it's a bit too hot and humid actually. Let's take a look at what I have in here so far. So I sized this such that I could put four of these kind of, I think these are 8 by 11 water trays, and then one very long one. And then I have a little corner to work with for some other equipment if I needed to, like a little fan or something. I've got a lot of ant plants in here. It's not all my ant plants. I'm just putting a lot of my test ones in here just for now, just to see, if they can survive. I have a bunch more to move in if everything does okay. And yeah, let's go over what we have in here so far. So in this corner, I have some sensitive plant seedlings growing. I think they're called Mimosa pudica, kind of common plant, and a few random Dorstinia otida seeds, and just like they shoot everywhere. But anyways, I don't think these seedlings are doing too hot. I mean, uh, it's kind of, maybe they're kind of like burnt. Maybe there's too much light, and also right now because I had my lights off before I started this video, they were kind of sleeping a bit, so the leaves are kind of closed. But yeah, the sensitive plants, if you don't know, they move just like the Venus flytraps when you touch them. But right now it's hard to see, so you can see kind of drooping after you touch them. It's kind of like a defense mechanism to scare animals away when you touch them. I have some random ferns. So these are the blue oil fern. They're supposedly to be very blue and iridescent. These are new though, so maybe their leaves are not as healthy. You can see they're kind of yellowing a bit because of the transplant shock or whatever, the transportation shock. So maybe they'll get more blue eventually. Also, it's not really the best environment to show off their blueness because they require uh, like light to shine directly on them to see their blueness. But this is like kind of diffuse light in here where it's all white walls and stuff kind of bouncing around. So it's not the really best showcase for them, but they can get very intensely blue. Um, I can't really get a good angle on how blue they are. I have two species. One of the larger blue oil ferns is like a giant variety, and then there's other smaller variety which isn't as blue. And then there's some other iridescent plants in here. One of them is a I don't know the species name, Sarcoperanus sp. Sumatra. I think there's another one, Parvifolia or something like that. That is more blue, but this one is supposedly also be iridescent right now. It doesn't really look like it because of all the diffuse light, but also it probably needs lower light conditions for them to get kind of blue. And there's a begonia back there that's supposed to be also blue, but again, not really the best showcase for them because it's too much of a diffuse light in here. I try to get the ppfd to be around 200 around here. It's a bit higher if you go up and a bit lower if you go down. And it might be too bright in here right now. I probably need to turn the light down a tiny bit more. Um, let's see what else we have. We have a bunch of ant plants. So I got some of these ant plants from various locations. This one's from eBay. I think this one is uh, Myrmecodia schlechterii, subspecies pendula. So yeah, I don't really know too much about ant plants. I do know that a lot of them are kind of unidentified to science. It's not like Nepenthes, which are more well documented. We don't really know if a lot of them can, what their species names are, or they just have like a location. But this one has little white flowers, and it's been flowering continuously, and sometimes it makes a little orange berry. So this one can self-pollinate, I guess. And I had like two berries, two orange berries, and here it's seeds. I got 13 seeds from two berries. So they kind of sprout, and you can see their little bulbs. Um, they sprout really fast. So some people say 24 to 40 hours. Mine wasn't that fast. It took about 3 days instead, but they all sprouted. And usually the germination rate is pretty good. Like usually you can expect 100%. But because they germinate so fast, it's hard to ship these seeds, right? Like they're gonna sprout in your envelope or whatever. So they don't last that long, I guess, because they need to sprout really fast. But you know, very easy to propagate from seeds if they could self. Uh, Otherwise, you gotta like kind of do something with these little flowers. I don't know if I could get them. Oh, this one I kind of peeled back a bit just to kind of expose the anthers inside. To see if I can manually encourage the pollinations, because not all the flowers are successful in making a berry. So you can see a few withered flowers on the side there where there's no berry. But this one, what is this one? This one is a Hydnophytum sp Sequidro Island from Alpenglow Exotic Plants. I got quite a few from Alpenglow, but this one's a Hydnophytum. Again, a lot of ant plants are kind of unidentified in terms of their species. Back here's another, I think, Hydnophytum. This one is Hydnophytum Formicarum Singapore. So Formicarum is a pretty common one, I think. And this one has a little berry going. Not ripe yet, so can't really pull it off, but a little green berry there. Hopefully it has some seeds inside. Got a Catopsis up here. This is one of those carnivorous bromeliads. See, kind of like glows in the sun, in the light. Very lime green, glowy, and it makes this like kind of powder that's like wax. Insects kind of fall in. It's getting less powdery. Oh, I do see a bit over on this side. I don't know what triggers the powder. It was way more powdery when it was on my windowsill. Maybe something to do with the sun and the UV or something like that. So I'm gonna put it back on my windowsill during the summer. And this is from some actual location. So, Cactopsis bertoniana near Santa Elena, Gran Sabina, Venezuela. So the range of this goes up to like Florida. Here is a new addition. This is a Clipiata. Supposedly this one's a female one. Got this one from Carnivoro. But I guess they got this from, I forget what the name of this nursery is, but apparently they have a female version. So we'll see how it does. And I mean, Clipiatas can get kind of, I mean, they're not the biggest neps, but in terms of the size of this grow area, it will probably outgrow this grow area. Like it'll be like this, kind of that big. So eventually it'll have to move, but we'll see. It's several years in the future. Back there, I got so I'm trying some ant ferns. They're of the genus Leptonopteris. So I got another one over here. I think it's called Lecanopteris. This one's Bagulii. So there's a few species of Lecanopteris. And you can see they kind of look kind of alien. So I think the favorite one I have, which I don't have here yet, I actually have one coming, is Mirabilis. But they're these little alien-looking lumps, and they just kind of like crawl across the floor, and they have these fronds. I mean, they're ferns, so you don't get seeds from them. You have to propagate them from cuttings or spores, but be interesting. But I also have another Lectonopterus. This one is Linguiformis. Yeah, this one's just like a leaf on some sphagnum. So I don't really know if how this one's related to the other Lectonopterus in terms of its genus. All the other Lectonopterus in the genus have some like swollen roots where the ants live in, but this one is just some leaves on some sphagnum. Yeah, I don't no idea. Maybe it's like renamed this thing, but after some genetic testing, they'll reclassify it. I have no idea. If someone knows what the relationship between this Lectonopterus with others is, please let me know. Otherwise, it seems like it doesn't belong in the genus. And I've got a few other ones. some more from Alpha Glow. This one is Eradicans. Hydnophytum radicans from Big Hole 1DY. I don't know if this is a typo. Maybe it's Wano. So it's supposed to be Wano Boy. I forget if it's 1DY or Wano Boy. Might be a typo. Longistylum. Hydnophytum longistylum. I think longistylum got renamed to a different species, so it's an old name. This one is Hydnophytum SP roundish codex from, again, this, see, it's Wano Boy from Jaya or something. But yeah, in fact, this codex doesn't look that round. It's roundish codex, but looks all lumpy. Oh, who knows what they do when they describe these species. Again, they're all like mostly new to science. We have one Hydnophytum SP Persilis Pass. Persilis Pass. It's from the Radicans, probably Radicans. Have a few of the Squamellaria genus. There's a Immerbis, and then I think back here is a major, Squamellaria major. Squamellaria huxleyana. This one, I like this one. It's all lumpy. It got more lumpy after I got it, so very nice, kind of inflating. Whereas Immerbis, well, from what I saw in cultivation, it looks like a cucumber. I think it's kind of long, but in the wild, you know, they're shaped weirdly in the wild. So when people identify these ant plants as whatever species, they're looking at the shape of the codex. I don't know how much of that is just environmentally determined. So like you could probably have two of the same species look very different depending on if it grows very high up or low down on the ground. Who knows? I'm just guessing. I have no idea. I feel like the shape of the codex might be variable. So when you say like roundish codex, is that enough for a species? I have no idea. This one's another Hydnophytum. This is Dendricastens. I'm not very familiar with these ant plant names like I am with Heliamphora or Nepenthes. This is Eradicans back here. Eradicans. I think this one is from Mullins Harbor from Alpenglow. Yeah, these are mostly my lowlander ant plants. I do have a few highland ones. They're in the highland tent though. So yeah, anyways, we'll see how deep go. I have a few more. I'm gonna move in here. Maybe next update we'll have them in here, and then we'll see if these seedlings survive. And if you have a few other random seedlings, these are just not ant plants anymore. This was a Thallium caphrium. I have a flowering Thallium, and see if the seeds are viable. And this one is another type of sensitive plant, Biophytum sensitivum. Hasn't really sprouted yet. Who knows if those seeds are viable? Got them off like Etsy or something. But yeah, that's kind of a quick tour of what's going on in here. And I say I'm going to need to add some ventilation or whatever, but you know, if it works, I kind of would just probably leave it alone. My biggest worry is the warping on these things. I could kind of already see it kind of warping a bit. So eventually it might like bow out and be kind of weirdly shaped. So I don't really know how to control that yet. I probably need to also shave a little bit off here. It's kind of like not properly cut. So I might need to take an X-Acto knife there. And yeah, I don't think there's too much else to describe. But yeah, I'm going to get into ant plants and see how it goes.